Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to say is not just a headline, it's a wake-up call. While the world is distracted with gossip, drama, and noise, a silent war is happening. A war not with bombs or guns, but with power, pride, and influence. It's Trump versus India, and nobody talks about it. But today, we will. Power is never given. It is taken. This is the first truth you must understand. If you want to rise, whether you are a nation, a leader, or an individual, look at history. No empire, no kingdom, no champion ever sat back and waited for someone to hand them the crown. They fought, they pushed, they demanded, they took it when the world said it wasn't theirs. Trump understands this. India understands this. That's why this silent war between them is not about friendship or polite agreements. It's about dominance. When Trump speaks, he speaks like a man who refuses to lose ground. When India moves, it moves like a nation that has had enough of being underestimated. This is not charity. This is not kindness. This is the brutal reality of how power shifts from one hand to another. In life, too many people wait. They wait for the right time. They wait for permission. They wait for someone to notice their potential. But the truth is, the world doesn't care about your potential if you don't fight for it. Nobody is going to give you success because you ask nicely. Nobody is going to hand you respect because you deserve it. In theory, you have to demand it through your actions, through your effort, through your results. India doesn't sit and ask, will America allow us to rise? No. It builds, it strengthens, it positions itself on the global stage until ignoring it becomes impossible. Trump doesn't wait for critics to applaud him. He storms the stage, makes noise, forces people to react. That's what it means to take power. You don't ask for space. You create space. You don't beg for the crown. You snatch it while others are asleep. Think about your own life. How many times have you waited for someone to give you a chance? How many times have you held back, hoping that opportunity will knock on your door? You must stop waiting. You must start building, start pushing, start taking. The battlefield may not always be politics or trade. It may be your career, your business, your relationships, your personal growth. But the principle is the same. If you wait for power to be handed to you, you will wait forever. If you want it, you must claim it. If you want to stand tall, you must rise on your own strength. Because in this world, respect is never gifted. It is conquered. Words are weapons, sharper than any blade, more destructive than any bullet, and more powerful than any army. When Trump speaks, his words ripple across oceans, shaking markets, challenging allies, and provoking rivals. When India responds, it does not simply answer. It positions itself. It crafts a message that tells the world, we will not bend. This is the invisible battlefield that most people ignore. They see leaders talk, they see press conferences, they hear speeches, but they don't realize these words are part of the war. Every phrase, every insult, every declaration is aimed like an arrow at the heart of the opponent. This is not small talk, this is strategy. In the age of global communication, words are not just expressions, they are weapons of influence. And influence decides who controls the future. You must understand that in your own life as well, the words you speak can either break you down or lift you higher. When you say I can't, you are already defeated. When you say I will, you plant the seed of victory. The leaders of nations know this. That's why they are careful, calculating, and intentional with every statement. Trump does not just talk to his people, he talks to the world, making sure every line echoes with force. India does not waste breath on empty noise. It chooses the right moment, the right tone, the right statement to send a message that cannot be ignored. This is not coincidence. It is precision, and precision with words is as deadly as precision with weapons. Think about the people around you who have power, who inspire, who move crowds. It is not always their muscles, their money, or their titles that make them powerful. It is their voice. It is how they use words like fire, how they spark emotion, how they make you believe. Words can turn fear into courage. They can turn doubt into confidence. They can turn weakness into strength. That is why you must discipline yourself to speak with intention. Never waste your breath on excuses. Never poison your future with negativity. Speak with clarity, speak with conviction, speak with force. Nations rise and fall on the weight of words. And so will you. If you master your tongue, if you sharpen it like a blade, then your voice will open doors, win battles, and make your presence impossible to ignore. Pride builds strength, and strength builds nations, leaders, and individuals who refuse to bow down. Pride is not just a feeling, it is the fuel that keeps people moving forward when everything around them says stop. Look at India. Its rise is not only because of technology, trade, or military might. It is because of a deep-rooted pride, a fire inside its people that refuses to let them accept weakness. When a leader tells his nation, we will not be controlled, we will not be disrespected, he awakens something powerful inside them. That is what makes millions stand tall, even in the face of pressure from giants like the United States. Trump operates on the same principle. He speaks with a pride that says, we are the greatest, we will not bow, we will not be second. This is why his supporters follow him with such loyalty. Because pride creates unity, and unity creates power. In your own life, pride is just as critical. Without pride in yourself, you will collapse under the weight of criticism, failure, and rejection. Pride is what makes you look in the mirror after defeat and say, I am not finished. It's what keeps you disciplined when nobody is watching. It's what pushes you to stand your ground when others tell you to quit. But pride must be built on real effort, real discipline, and real results, not empty arrogance. Nations that base their pride on illusions fall quickly. Leaders who speak with pride but have no action behind them are exposed. But when pride is matched with strength, it becomes unstoppable. Think of how many times people have doubted you, laughed at you, or tried to silence you. If you had no pride, you would have accepted their judgment. But pride allows you to push back, to say I decide my worth, not you. India uses pride as its shield against pressure. Trump uses pride as his weapon to command attention. You must use pride as your foundation to build resilience. Pride makes you walk taller, work harder, and fight longer. It makes your enemies underestimate you, and your supporters believe in you. Pride is not weakness, it is not ego, it is the fire inside you that whispers, stand up again. Without it, you bend, you break, you fade. With it you rise, you fight, you endure. Strategy wins battles, not noise. The world may see arguments on television, fiery speeches, or social media storms. But that is only the surface. The real fight is taking place behind closed doors, in rooms filled with maps, numbers, and silent decisions that shape the future. Trump knows how to use negotiation like a hammer. He threatens, he pressures, he bluffs, and then he strikes when the timing is right. India plays a different game. It builds alliances, strengthens its economy, invests in relationships that stretch across borders, and waits patiently for the moment to leverage its position. This is strategy, and this is why both sides are dangerous. One plays fast and bold, the other plays steady and precise. But both understand that in the end, noise does not win. Execution does. In life, too many people believe that shouting the loudest will get them noticed, that showing off will bring them success. But in reality, it is the person who plans in silence, who works in shadows, who builds step by step while others are distracted, who wins. Strategy means thinking 10 moves ahead, seeing not just the battle in front of you, but the war beyond it. Trump did not rise to power by accident. India did not rise to global importance by luck. Both calculated, both sacrificed, both executed with a bigger picture in mind, and that is the lesson. You cannot stumble into greatness. You must plan for it, design it, and execute it relentlessly. Think about your own goals. Do you simply talk about them, or do you have a strategy? Do you let people know every move you're making, or do you quietly prepare and strike when the moment is right? The loudest person in the room rarely has the most control. The one with the clearest plan always does. India knows it cannot outshout America, so it outthinks and outmaneuvers. Trump knows he cannot please everyone, so he focuses on forcing his agenda with precision timing. Both show us that strategy is not about being liked, it is about being effective. And if you want to win in your own life, you must stop wasting energy on noise. Stop craving attention and start building a strategy that cannot be broken. Legacy is the final victory, the ultimate measure of whether your fight mattered, whether your sacrifices left a mark, whether your name will be remembered when you are gone. For Trump, it has never been just about policies or temporary wins. It has been about carving his place in history as the man who reshaped America's direction, who stood against critics and still forced the world to pay attention. For India, this silent war is not about a headline today or a trade deal tomorrow. It is about something much larger, proving that a nation once dismissed as weak, once underestimated, can rise to become a global force that cannot be ignored. Legacy is about writing a story that future generations will point to and say, that was the moment everything changed. That is why this battle between Trump and India is deeper than politics, because both are chasing something bigger than power. They are chasing immortality through memory. In your life, legacy is the same. Success that lasts only for a day is not true success. A victory that fades when you stop working is not real victory. Legacy is about building something that outlives you. It is about creating such impact with your words, your actions, your discipline, that people who come after you continue to feel your influence. Some people live their whole lives chasing quick wins, short-term recognition, temporary applause. But those who think in terms of legacy are willing to sacrifice more, to endure longer, to suffer hardship, because they know the end goal is not just today, it is forever. Trump fights for how history books will describe him. India fights for how the next century will remember its place in the world. And you must fight for how your children, your family, your community, your world will remember you. Think about it when you are gone. What will remain? Will it be excuses, wasted time, forgotten dreams, or will it be strength, inspiration, and proof that you lived with purpose? Legacy is not built in one moment. It is built in every choice, every habit, every risk you take. It is built when you refuse to quit, when you rise after failure, when you do what others said was impossible. Nations seek legacy on the global stage. Leaders seek legacy through history, but you seek legacy in the way you change lives around you. And if you want that legacy to endure, you must stop living for applause and start living for impact. So understand this: the secret war between Trump and India is not just politics, it's a reminder that power is taken, not given, that words and strategy matter more than noise, that pride fuels strength, and that legacy is everything. If nations can fight for their destiny, then you, one person, can fight for yours. Because in the end, the only war that truly matters is the one you fight inside yourself, against weakness, against doubt, against fear. And that war you must win.